Morena. I'm inspired to be in this room for two reasons. One is because when you set up a social enterprise, sometimes it's a very lonely journey. When we sat around my kitchen table 5 years ago, three of us, we thought, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And now to be in a room with the next generation of New Zealand social entrepreneurs is truly inspiring. The other amazing thing about it is that as an old white guy, I'm finally in the minority. That's the future of New Zealand. So I want to tell you a story, and I have actually got a few slides. I'm not as good as Brianne. Is this just working here? Yeah, there we are. I'm going to tell you a little story. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction about the future of New Zealand, and then I'm going to prove to you with numbers how that's going to come true, and then I'm going to share with you the possibilities that it offers all of us. So here's the prediction. We are about to enter one of the greatest periods of prosperity in our history. In fact, I might go one step further. I think we're about to enter the greatest period of prosperity in our history. And you say, Sam, how do you know that? Well, I'm going to prove it with numbers. There's a lot of words and hyperbole and emotions you can use, but let's use some numbers. Let's look at KiwiSaver today. In the last 14 years, we have saved $78 billion between us. And the Treasury tells us by 2030, when Guy said we should be looking forward to 2030, that will be $200 billion, $200,000 million. But Guy, you're too short-term thinking, mate. I want to go to 2050. In 2050, Treasury tells us that will be $500 billion. Now, that is $500 billion that we didn't have 14 years ago. And it rises like a tide. You don't even notice it. Every single one of us saves a little bit every single day, and it grows and grows and grows. And I'll show you how amazing it is. All through COVID, when the financial markets melted down, every single day, Simplicity was buying and buying more in the financial markets because you were saving and saving more. $500 billion is in our business what we call a lot of wonga. It's a huge amount of money. What does $500 billion do for New Zealand by 2050? Because $500 billion is 2.5 times our GDP. And it means that for the next, until 2050, it's 2.3% of GDP every single year of net new investment capital. Folks, you're just going to have to trust me. Never in our history have we saved that much money. What does that do for us? Well, it means businesses get a lot more money, which means they employ a whole lot more people and they pay them a whole lot more. More highly paid jobs. Because money brings investment and investment brings jobs. And what does that mean? That means more tax for the governments. Because you know what? We can have all the ideas we like about what government should do, but unless they can afford it, unless the tax revenue comes in, it doesn't happen. So when governments get more tax, that means more infrastructure. That's the water, that's the power, that's the schools, that's the hospitals. It also means, and I know for this audience it's incredibly important, more affordable housing. Because not only will the government build it, but the people who are managing that KiwiSaver money, like us, will be investing in affordable housing. I want to share a secret with you. I think it's going to happen. I know one KiwiSaver provider that will be doing it, but just don't tell anyone, okay? Watch this space. It also means the affordable housing is the fence at the top of the cliff in terms of social problems. Because so many social problems are because people cannot live in warm, dry, safe, secure houses. That's the ultimate fence. I met a family the other day. In 9 years, they changed houses 8 times. Kids had changed school 8 times. How can you expect that kid to get a decent start in life when that happens? But it also means they can build a fence at the top of the cliff, but it also means that tax revenues for the social services, for the ambulances at the bottom, for the hospitals, for the mental health services, for all the things that we know people need when they fall off the cliff in life. And it means also more for the environment. Because, and by the way, on behalf of my generation, I want to apologise to you for delivering you the environment. But what I do know is that fixing it, and there are a lot of people in this room with a lot of smart ideas for how to fix it, it's going to take money. And so the more money we have in the economy, the more money we have to fix the environment. Now, how do I know this is going to happen? Because I told you I made this prediction. I said I'd prove it with numbers. I know it because the best example of it happening is right next door. Australia. Who would have thought that I'd be here at a social enterprise conference in New Zealand and praising the bloody Aussies? But look what Australia have done. They started saving 40 years ago. Remember, we have $78 trillion saved? Right today, the Australians have $3 trillion saved. We've saved 78 billion, they've saved 3,000 billion. And what does that mean? That means that the average Australian is 20% richer than the average New Zealander. It means that the GDP of Australia is 40% higher per person than it is in New Zealand. And how is that? Because people say, well, Australia, well, of course, it's because they've got all this iron ore and they just export all this, they make all this money. No. That's not why Australia is rich, because New Zealand also has commodities. We also have natural gas, milk. We are also a commodity country. Now, what the Australians did is when they sell it, they save it. And they save and save and save. So when you get a recession, they just keep on investing in businesses. They just keep on building buildings, keep on building roads, keep on building schools. That is why, up until COVID, Australia had not had a recession for 26 years. 26 years without a recession. That is what's going to happen to New Zealand. I'm not guaranteeing you that we won't have a recession, but I'm telling you that it's going to be a lot more prosperous and a lot smoother and a lot more predictable. The Australians are a very good example. And if you don't like the Aussies, look at Singapore, look at Denmark, look at Holland, look at the whole of Scandinavia. In fact, look at the whole of the OECD. All of these countries have two things in common, actually. They're democracies and they've saved a lot in their pension schemes. So Australia is a classic example. Now, that's one reason why my prediction is going to come true, because we will have $500 billion arriving in our economy. You happy about that? I tell you, folks, money may be a dirty word, but the problems of wealth are much better than the problems of poverty. Now, here's the other reason why I'm so confident that that be a new age of prosperity. Because this money is going to arrive, and then who is going to look after it? Who is going to be investing in it? Well, this is the era of social enterprise. In fact, social enterprise is already here. If you look at an organisation like Southern Cross, they're a social enterprise. They've been here for 75 years. They have 75% of the health insurance market. And if you look at an organisation like Vanguard, anyone heard of Vanguard? They're the biggest business you've never heard of. They actually manage our overseas investments. They've been a social enterprise for 40 years. They've made exactly $0 in profit in 40 years. They've been a non-profit. Guess how much money they manage? $9 trillion. 51 times the size of our economy. So social enterprises can be massive as well. But why I'm so excited about social enterprise now is we're going to see a renaissance in this. Just watch it happen. Because when you set up a social enterprise, back in the old days, if you wanted to make a fortune, you had to build a factory, you had to build a railway. All the things took a lot of money. And then you had shareholders who gave you the money and they said, I want you to make a lot of profit for me in doing it. But social enterprises tend to be focused in technology and what we call low capital businesses. It doesn't take a lot to set it up. Simplicity has taken less than $1 million to get where it is from day one to now. So they need less capital, and that means it's much easier to start up a social enterprise, particularly when it's in the tech world. If it revolves around an app or SaaS or all those sort of things, those are not so expensive. The second thing is, being a social enterprise, you don't have hungry shareholders. So it means you either make low or no profit, and that gives you a massive competitive advantage. Simplicity charges 1/3 of the average fee of our competitors. Why? Because the other 2/3 they charge is profit. The finance industry is one of the most profitable industries in the country. If you are competing and you don't have to make $1, you have a huge competitive advantage. But here is the really big thing. Folks, I've been investing in companies for 40 years. I bought my first share at 11, actually, 44 years. I can tell you that great companies, great enterprises are only three things: an idea, money, and people. Anyone got a smartphone here? All the ideas in the world are there. There is no premium. There are no new ideas anymore. There may be in raw science, but you have all of the ideas there. There's no premium there anymore. The money is increasingly available. A lot more money is available for good ideas. But, as the Māori proverb would tell you, what's the most important thing in the world? He tangata, he tangata, he tangata. The people, the people, the people. And it is people who build great businesses and enterprises. And when I look at a room like this, which has people driven by purpose, people who want for a living to make a difference. When you combine that with the ideas and when you combine that with the money, you have a powerful force for change. Let me give you just one example of this. When we got together at Simplicity and decided to make a difference, we wanted to give people dignity in their lives. We wanted people to have dignified retirements and the dignity of owning their first home. And we said, how will we do that? We'll give them choices. And what will we do to give them choices? Money. Make them more money, they'll have more choices in life. And if they have more choices in life, they will have dignity. So we set up as a social enterprise, as a non-for-profit. We give 15% of our fees to charity. We do KiwiSaver investment funds and mortgages. And look what's happened in 4 years with less than $1 million of investment capital. Almost 70,000 members, saving $26 million a year in fees now, average of $380 per person per year. We've already given away $2.365 million. We're giving away money at about $130,000 a month now, and as we grow, it grows. And we're managing over $3.5 billion. And by the way, every single one of those dollars is invested ethically, every single one. And in fact, it's been fantastic. Our returns are great because these industries don't make money anymore. It used to be great that the fossil fuel industry used to be awesome, but now everyone's saying we don't want that stuff in our lives, and so we're not investing in it. And so, if you think about the future of New Zealand, the 2050 and the 2030 future of New Zealand, there are two amazing forces coming. One is money, lots of money, our money, that will transform our society. And the second one is what we do with it, how we invest it, how we spend it, and how we choose to live our lives via social enterprise. And why I'm so excited to be here as a Westie, a kid from Sunnyvale in West Auckland, who got the chance to make a difference, and who just about cries every time I think about how lucky I am to be able to do that. But I look in a room, and the new social entrepreneurs are here. I know some of you will end up working for Simplicity, but most of you will go off and do your own thing. And boy, I tell you what, when your parents decided to have a bit of jiggy-jiggy, you didn't know how lucky you were, because the New Zealand you're getting born into is going to be fantastic for social entrepreneurs. And that's the New Zealand we will create. One where we have more money and one where we all have more choices, and so people live with dignity. And so we are entering one of the greatest periods of prosperity in New Zealand. Let's go for the ride, folks. Thank you.